what I've just played is pretty well the same version as what we did before, but instead of sliding from the 3rd fret down to the 5th fret on the 1st string, I've finished off the phrase, and then I simply place the slide on the 4th string, 5th fret here, muted the other strings, tilted the slide a bit, and then played a vibrato on that note. So you get this effect. You get the sound of the open 3rd string followed rapidly by the sound of the same note on the 4th string, like that. Now, a lot of times when you're doing blues playing, even without a slide, one of the typical effects is to play the minor 3rd up above G, that would be a B flat here, and hammer on like that to the B natural, or a slow typical lead like that where you have a slow hammer on. Now with the slide you can do the same kind of thing. You can slide up from the minor 3rd to the major just to give it a bit of color, like that. See? And a really nice effective lead is to play that note. You can repeat it or just do it once. We'll do a slow slide, play the open 3rd string, and then once again tilt and play the same note on the 4th string. So you're starting to hear some of these very nice bluesy slide effects. Now here's a nice phrase using a hammer on. It's quite difficult to do, but you can hammer on with a slide. Of course it helps if your strings are a little higher off the fingerboard than a normally strung electric guitar. But it sounds like this. Again. One more time. Now let me show you with my fingers what I'm doing. The slide hammers on. You play the open 4th string and the slide hammers on. Now remember, it's on top of the 3rd fret, not behind, but just for clarity's sake, because it's hard to see with the slide in the way where I'm playing, it hammers on exactly on the 3rd fret, but on top of it, around there, like that. Then you play the open 3rd string, and then you slide from the 3rd to the 4th fret. Remember, we're getting that minor to major sound, followed by the open 3rd, so we have, and then finally the note, the open G, which would be an open 3rd string but played at the 5th fret, 4th string. So we have, and it's a little difficult to get the hammer on happening. You have to tilt the slide over to avoid some of these strings. And of course, if you've got a heavy slide like I have, it's quite easy sometimes to actually whack the neck of the guitar, which you really don't want to do. Another problem too is to keep that 1st finger at the back to mute out and dampen out any unwanted tones. So we have, that's a nice one, followed by the 3rd string open, open, and then a nice vibrato on the 4th string. Like that. Now, in addition to the difficulty of hammering on with the slide, the right hand poses quite a few problems as well, because you have to really mute out and dampen any unwanted strings. Let's take a look at how the right hand should be sitting for this particular phrase. Now, first of all, I slot my middle and 3rd finger in and around the 3rd and 2nd string, like that, and I place my pick over the 4th string, and my thumb is resting on the 5th string, so I've got all the strings tightly dampened down. Once again, 3rd finger on the 2nd string, middle on 3rd, pick against the 4th, and thumb resting flat against the 5th and 6th strings, like this. Now, when you play the open fourth string, you use the pick with a downstroke, and then when you hammer on, you just hammer on with the slide, but then the pick, when you're ready to play the open third string, which you're going to do with the middle finger, the pick sits back on the fourth string to mute it. Like this. So here's the hammer on. So it goes back at the same time that you play the open third string. And of course this is very, very difficult to coordinate, so it requires lots of patient practice on your behalf. Here we go again. The hammer on, mute, then pick the open third string. And then you do the slide, again with the picking the third string with the middle finger, and then playing the open string with the middle finger. So we have, and then when you're ready to play the fourth string, the middle goes back to mute, and then the pick just plays the fourth string. Now it's almost harder for me to do this slowed down. If I was playing it quicker, it's a little easier for me to play, to demonstrate. But it's essential I show you slowed down so you can see the absolute mechanism that is taking place while I'm dampening. So once again, we start off with those fingers like that on the middle string, middle finger, third string, third finger, second string, and pick on the fourth string, thumb dampening down. We play the open fourth string with the pick, hammer on, put the pick back on at the same time that we hit the third string, that's the important point, and then do our slide on the third string, picking with the middle finger, open, and then the middle finger goes back to the third string to mute it as the pick plays the fourth string, and the slide is at the 5th fret, 4th string. There we go. Well, that concludes lesson 7. Practice the scale as much as you can, and be very patient with some of those very tricky little lead phrases I showed you, particularly the last one where you have to dampen those strings down with the right hand. Anyhow, good luck with that, and I'll see you for the final lesson in lesson 8.